Good morning, everyone. How we doing? How we doing? Hopefully you had a good weekend. Hopefully you're nice and rested. Remember, you're coming to the screens on one of 4 of the most volatile weeks of the year. It is rollover week. It is triple witching this week. It is FOMC week. So if you are not feeling up to being very accurate with your trading, you need to be honest with yourself, all right? If you haven't slept enough, drunk enough water, if you're not calm enough, if you're still on tilt from how you acted on Friday, this week is not the week to be on the screens, right? We are in defense mode this week as we go into rollover. If it's your first rollover week, I suggest you take it nice and easy, all right? Charts are about to get very, very wonky. You're going to hear people quoting different figures on the tape and not understanding why. It's because of the rollover. I believe the gap up is around 30 to 50 points between the two indexes right now. I'm still trading the old contract, not enough volume on the new contract, but just be aware of that before we start. I wanted to get that out there in the open. All right, as always, we're going to start with the daily chart. What do we have here? All right, let's have a look. This is previous week high, Monday. This is previous week low, Tuesday. Standard trading week. Range is always created between the Monday and the Tuesday. After Tuesday, failed breakout, back down to the low, failed breakout, and we created range, all right? From Tuesday to Friday, we created range. Friday had a good drive in it, just like we thought, some short covering. When we look at this, what are we starting to see? Well, we're starting to potentially, it's too early to say now, but potentially get that pullback leg that we were looking for. All right, we're looking for a higher time frame pullback leg somewhere up here that we can think about fading back down towards the lows. All right, so potentially this week could be it. It might not be it, but it's potentially setting up. You can see the key thing on the daily now is that we have room. All right, we have room. For the first time, we have room. Bollinger Band going down, but starting to go in sideways. Top Bollinger Band going down. 20 days still trading down, but eventually will start flattening out. About 5 days starting to curl up. All right, so if we hold above last week's range or the top end of the range and we build out some liquidity on the 5-day, this move here becomes more and more probable, I would say. All right, the things we need to look out for. The old weekly low here. If we break above and fail and come back inside the range, we go back into chop and maybe we go and test the lower side. That is not ideal. All right, that is going to be very, very hard to trade, very, very messy. The trade from here will be all right, but trading inside this range here is not going to be easy. We built up a huge amount of liquidity in there. The easy trade today, all right, will be if we're able to hold around the 700 level for a drive higher, acceptance over the old weekly low, and this kind of play here. I'm not saying it gets that high today, but something up and above here will be the easier play. Fades under 700, all right, you can think about a rotation back down to the other side of the range, but this will be a little choppier unless some news starts dictating that move. So those are things I'm thinking about. Let's have a look at the hourly. All right, here we go. So you can see all this. So you can see here, I'm going to take volume off for a second. You can see here the hourly. This is the range I'm talking about, all right? This is the old low, right? Previous week, not was previous week now, 2 weeks ago low right here. Last week, this is us boxed in, all right? That's last week, all of that. We need acceptance up and above sort of 800 for that drive up into 20,000. If we keep failing, look above and fail, and we create this, then you can see the liquidity we've created overnight for a wash back down. So if we do that, then we're looking for a wash into 555. Underneath that, acceptance underneath, you're going back down to the bottom side of the range. That will be less than ideal. That will be really, really, really choppy. I'm not saying it can't happen though. So really this morning we want a hold of 700, or what's the bottom side of this? 700 down to 650. Some sort of hold there would be ideal for that lift off and drive up, and then acceptance over 775 to 800 for a potential squeeze higher. If we think about that on the 5-minute chart, this chart right here, all right, you can see I've marked out that newsprint low. That was our 8:30 print where we got that engulfing candle and left an imbalance from, which we're trading back down into right now. It's probably 50% move currently. Let's have a quick look off that newsprint low to the high. Yes, into 50%. So we have to see if buyers step up here and want to hold. If we zoom left, you can see Friday we kept creating this old resistance. We talked about this in the Discord as well. All right. They were always going to clear this out into the close on Friday. It got cleared and then they came back inside. Overnight, we've gone sideways. And then big push up, pull back, drive up. So can we hold Friday highs, all right, as a sort of area zone for a continuation? That's why I'm saying 700 is key. Because if we don't hold Friday's live highs and we come back into the newsprint and we get stuck there, all right, then this is failed breakout territory. This might produce a lower high to come back down, and then we're going to test Asia London, both sides, right? Highs and lows of Asia London. All right, so really we need this level to hold for this drive and this level to hold for another leg up. Otherwise, potentially, like I said, we can potentially get stuck here, mess around, go for the newsprint, maybe either then we go or back to Asia London level. So lots on the table today. Remember, roll over. Not looking to be aggressive today. You will probably find it is a little bit more spready than normal. All right, you'll probably find it's a bit more spready than normal. Looking at the main chart then, exactly the same things plotted out, just so you can see what happened. London Asia went sideways, right? London Asia high, built out a range, built the liquidity, and then went upside. Right, so we're looking to see if we can get that upside acceptance right now. This white line here, that's CPI, right? That is still intact right now. CPI high is still intact right now. If we come over and look at all the things we look at for confluence, right? The VIX right now is trading right on previous day close, right on Friday's close. It can trade down to previous day low with basically any acceptance underneath 2150. We can get a little bit of a recovery here on the market. If we keep finding bids down here in this potential demand pocket from 2180 down to 2150, it can trade back upside. Break of 2230 should allow it to trade all the way back up to 23. All right. We start doing that on the VIX, you need to be watching out because that's when we go full old rotation back down. Okay, so you need to be careful, need to understand the key levels and what we're looking at. Looking at the MAG, we have a bit of a mixed bag here. All right, Apple found a bid in Asia and London, drove up to previous day high and got sold off there. All right, so they started selling into PDH on Apple and it's now underneath previous day close. Technically going to start gapping down here, coming back down towards probably VWAP and that area pre-market 213. Microsoft, weak. All right, weak. Selling off versus previous day high, previous day close. This are opening up with a gap down. It will need to hold Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of range. All right, so I'd say a hold of anywhere from sort of 86, 386 down to 384s. And it can potentially find a bid there for a drive higher. So technically it's broke out, but it's gapping down. So it's a bit of a weird one when you look at that. Amazon, gapping up, stuck at its 200-day moving average right now. Very similar to Microsoft coming into previous day's range, other than what day was this? Wednesday, it had a big gap up. So it would be looking to find a bid in and around the open here. If it can find that bid, it's going to go for previous week high. That's what it's going to want to run for. Google, slight gap up here. Again, very similar to Apple. Drove up this morning pre-market, got stuck at previous day highs, found some sellers up there for now. Meta, strong. Strong, strong, strong. Nice gap up on Meta over previous day high. But it is starting to come into some supply that we created pre-market on Thursday and in Wednesday. So into Wednesday's range, so still inside weekly range, but a good drive here. You know, from last week's low 86, we're now all the way up at 610. So it's found a bid there. People liking Meta out of the Mag 7. That's been looking very, very strong. Nvidia continues to find that bid. All right, we talked about buying Nvidia in the low hundreds. Always a good buy up there. Say up there, down there technically, and it's starting to find a bid. All right, starting to retrace back towards its 200-day moving average. Acceptance over that 200-day and 50-day. Maybe Nvidia can start to get going here. Tesla, weak one. All right, gap down on Tesla. So out of all the Mag 7, that is the weakest, continues to be the weakest. Didn't even get to previous day high. That thing opened up, rallied back up towards previous day close, didn't get there and got sold off. So gap down on Tesla. We have to see how that operates. It does have an inverse head and shoulder kind of look starting to be built out here on like a 5 and 15 and I would guess even an hourly chart right here. So if it can find a bid, maybe it can help the market get going. If we see Tesla go red to green and the rest of the market, goes green, then maybe we're in for a day where we're going to start moving upside. What are the things I don't want to do today? What I don't really want to do today is get stuck trading in this range here. That is not where I want to be, all right? I really don't. If we wash here, I'm expecting us to come down and test this level. At this point, I'm thinking about, am I buying the market back up? It gets more and more messy as we get down into these ranges. Why? Well, let's just look left for a second. Lots of volume built there on Friday and Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday. It's ugly. I don't really want to trade where all these traders are stuck. I want to use their pain. All right, so when you combine that with rollover week, with FOMC coming on Wednesday, these areas down here are not things I want to trade. I want it to be clean and obvious. It has to be screaming at me to take a trade on weeks like this. Likelihood is I will trade today and tomorrow. Wednesday, might not trade. Normally, I'm very risk off on FOMC days, especially on FOMC days on rollover week. Thursday, Friday, I'm on holiday in Mexico. All right, so probably going to be a bit of a slower week for me personally. Just in that capital preservation kind of mode right now. Let's have a look and see who's joined the chat and what you're all saying. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jesse, Ramus, Miguel. Not sure how to say your name there. DPFTW, Peter, Christy, Jeff, Thumper, Mr. Slim, Dopamine, Kirktown, which contract on NQ are trading? I'm still trading the March contract, Kirk. Not enough volume rolled over on the new contract for me yet. BU, probably take a day or two. BU, JD Florida Man, Julian, Trentry, DJ Noah, Derek, Rob Drag, TR, Vince, Exister, Radar Trades, Indicator, Brad, Arturo, Nick, Ioanni, or Ioannia, sorry if I've absolutely butchered your name there. I do apologize. Mike, Capt, R. Crawford, Robert England. Good morning, everyone. All right, so into this blue box and around this blue box. This is what we're looking at right now. Can it hold this kind of old level here if we zoom left? All right, big kind of level from Friday. All right, it can afford to drift down into sort of 87 and around that as well. We can extend this out a bit. Let's make sure we're covering all of this. All right, so I want to see if we can catch a bid here. That's what I would like to see. That would give us the easiest trade. And then if we can get acceptance from here over and above here would be really, really nice. That will give us a nice, easy day, nice way to start the week if we can do that. Watch your sizing, watch your stops, watch the liquidity. All right, the contract you're trading will probably start to get thinner and thinner and thinner until we roll over this week. Be careful with it. All right, I've been hurt many, many times on rollover week. Not always the easiest week to trade. Those of you who've been here for many years will already know that. Not always the easiest. Starting to find a little bid here on PDC on the VIX here. All right, starting to drag the market down a little bit. We're just going to be super duper patient. All right, where I don't want to be trading today is in the old week's range. We kept talking about that. It's not where I want to execute trades. I want to see the market show me that it's got a willingness to hold and trade upside. So SPY coming back into its VWAP right now. Make sure I've got my trades and my chart set up. ETFs, QQQ tech weaker this morning. All right, QQQ already underneath its VWAP. SPY at its VWAP or coming into it. ES and NQ miles away from their VWAPs. We have 1 minute left until we get going. Joe is fine. Okay, I'll remember that. Clint, good morning. Don't forget, everyone, I pinned a new video to the top of the chat. If you are new or you're considering getting a new prop firm account, I did a video for you yesterday, dropped late on Sunday, on the difference basically between Apex and Traderify. All right, which one might suit you? I go through absolutely everything. The cost, the true cost, that including the hidden costs of those two accounts. which one might be better for you, how I trade both of them and use them differently and stack them together. So it might be a good video for you who are looking at Tradeify or Apex. Don't forget, Tradeify's sale continues right until the end of the month. You have 30% off the 25K, 100K, and 150K accounts, and 35% off the 50K accounts. Before we get into the market open, just say that growth account on the 50K is the best account available anywhere right now. By far, it is not even close, right? And I go into detail why that account's so good in that video. So worth a watch. I've pinned it to chat. Here we come then. 2, 1. Here comes the opening bell. Let's see what we get here watching the mag. Lots of the mag have started to go red over the last minute or so. So I'm going to let this shake out. Remember, we've got this news wick low, this white line, news wick low. We know we've got lots of resting liquidity down there right now. Give this a minute to shake out. Tesla opening 2.75% down. Nvidia, the strong one today, 0.5% up. Meta, flat right now. Google pretty much flat. Amazon pretty much flat. Microsoft 0.5% down. And Apple just under 0.5% down. So let's see what we do here. Do we come for those news wick lows or do we find a bid? ES, the stronger one right now, holding its RBS level for now. All right, ES holding a nice RBS level that we created in the pre-market. As always, letting it shake out, especially on a Monday. Filling that 5-minute imbalance so far. The engulfing candle that we pushed from here, we're starting to fill that right now. Watching to see if we go to that Newswick low. The book is stacked full of small orders today. You can see everyone's starting to jostle their position around. And there is the bid. Wow. All right, there is the bid. ES holding the RBS level, coming back to PDC. Morning print getting filled there. Someone getting filled there. Remember, they have to roll over their contracts this week. It will make the tape a little bit messy. Always, always does. They're trying to find a bid after filling that imbalance. Haven't come back for that Newswick low yet. ES back to PDC. We would like to see if we can start squeezing, if we can start breaking above and putting in higher lows, then we can think about joining for a morning push up into here. Failure to do that. If we don't get acceptance over this, then I'm going to assume that we're going to come back down here. I'm not going to trade this short down here. I'd much rather see this long setup for me to go tearing back to the upside. It's going to be a much easier trade to take that. Watching very, very carefully here versus flow zones, versus previous day high, versus previous day close. How do we operate? Still very early in the morning. You're 2 minutes in. It's all you're in right now. ES having a decent drive up here. ES much stronger. SPY finding a bid off VWAP. That was key. SPY showing its strength. NQ relative weakness. The tape looks disgusting. This is why I hate rollover week. It looks absolutely horrendous looking at the tape right now. I don't mark them out. I don't mark them out, but I do watch them. Yes, of course, I watch them. Plenty of time left into that. Here you go. So driving back upside. ES taking out previous day high. Is the market going to get going here? Right, in this long, for this break, like we talked about, want to see some continuation and then see if we can get acceptance. Lovely. Everything we talked about. Come on, trading. Come on, Ninja. Come on, Ninja. Please work. There we go. Right, looking to see if we can hold a print above previous day high now. ES is already taking out previous day high and current overnight high. ES relative strength. This is what we wanted, this blue box to hold. All right, so in from here, driving up. Can we get acceptance of something like this and then like this as well? So that's what we're looking for this morning. Nice, easy opening drive. A little bit spready here on the book, all right? Up to two to 3 points on the book so far. Be careful with that, like we talked about. ES on absolute fire right now. That is a strong drive on the ES this morning. Very, very strong drive on the ES. I want to just see the NQ join in here. Don't want it to keep getting stuck here. Want to see it join in and participate. Come on, NQ. You can do more than this. Holding previous day highs right now. Left a bit of an imbalance on that big push. I'm a bit worried. I don't want it to come all the way down here. That would be giving back a good 30 points here. So stop in the money right now and then just waiting. Book is ugly. Anyone watching Bookmap, this is what happens rollover week. You'll just see these 20 orders, like 20 lots just stacked both sides non-stop all week long. It's horrible when you see that. But a nice drive here. All right, maybe we come and make that higher low now. So I'm out here just waiting now to see if it wants to make a higher low in that imbalance. Watching ES very closely versus previous day high to see if it's willing to hold a bid there. It has to be willing to hold a bid there. Very spready here every now and again on mine. It's opening up to like 3 to 4 points every now and again on the DOM. That's because of rollover. Horrible, horrible, horrible stuff. Want to see a pullback here to get re-involved. ES so strong. New high day ES. Need to see ES hold and have some acceptance. Nvidia giving a lot back here though. Got to be careful here. Filled its gap. Does it find a new bid to go upside? Beautiful. Come on. Watching this overnight high if we're going to take it out. Remember, we've got that CPI high. That white line is CPI high. Lovely. Oh my God, Ninja Trader. Come on, Ninja Trader. Shoot me error messages again. Don't do that like last week. Please. Don't need that to start the day. Looking good here, folks. This is everything we talked about pre-market. Watching that white line, that CPI high. ES is in an absolute hurry right now. Lovely. Come on, let's keep going. Oh my God. Oh my God. There goes CPI. Taking some off here. Day done. Look at that. What a way to start a Monday. What a way to start Monday. Already talked about it. Runners only now. This was fantastic. Into blue box. Hold of what? Hold of the RBS level, and we take it upside for this squeeze. Through previous week low, through CPI. Any acceptance up here now, over 800 and around 800. We rejoin for a continuation squeeze higher. Let's go. Let's go. Absolutely nailed this. Fantastic. I want to see you all drop W's in chat. This is a sick trade, man. Even with it getting a bit spready every now and again, we nailed that. Let's go. What a nice way to start rollover week. Tyson with the win. Julian with the win. Vince with the win. Steve C. Marek. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit of money here, right? These are into old weekly lows. This was the big, big trade that we wanted up into this level. We have to wait for acceptance. Crawford with the win. Indicator with the win. Andrew G didn't with the win. Florida Man, I don't know how I missed your entry. Sorry about that. Paula with the win. Nick with the win. DJ Noah with the win. Mr. Slim. Jeff. Thumper. Alan. Nice trade here, folks. Really nice trade. All right, ES was the clue. VIX started gapping down underneath the previous day low like we talked about. And we joined for the easy money. Easy money was CPI. So I'm going to delete this white line. That was CPI now. All right, so previous week low and CPI, low hanging fruit. We want to see if we can create some liquidity here for a continuation trade higher now. All right, but the easy low hanging fruit trade, 700 to 800, 100 points there in this move were available for the trade. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Now we wait. Arturo, missed it. My trading view wasn't loading, just rebooted. That is frustrating. That's what I had last week. Sorry to hear that. Pat with the winner. So now we have to really wait and think about what we can do next. Let's go to the higher time frame. Let's see what we did there. Hourly flag, acceptance above this old range like we talked about, driving up to previous week low. All right, now we can think about where we can reprice. All right, we have this old 2-year long daily trend line into 40s. We have H1 imbalances here. and we have some moves into 20,000. It's possible it wants to go to 20,000, maybe all the way up to 20,250 today. So we're watching these levels. And right now, you do not want to be buying up here, all right? You should be either completely out of this or holding a runner for that continuation trade for the day. Do not be buying high in this right now. That's a beautiful trade. Even if that's the only trade you get today, trust me, that is a beautiful, beautiful trade. Will not get much better than that. It's always nice when you come to the market and it does exactly what you want at the open. And then you can sit and wait knowing you made money. What other job can you do that, eh? What other job can you make that money in what, the first 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes, we made money. In the first 5 or 6 minutes, we hit our targets. Fantastic. Keeps rising higher here now. We need some form of pullback, right? We want to see liquidity being built now. We don't want straight upside, right? We need to see liquidity being built. We can go into a lower time frame here. We don't want to see straight upside, do we? We know if the market does that, it often likes to do this, right? So we don't join up here. You're asking for trouble. If it gets acceptance, fine. Ideally, it does something like this, but we need liquidity to be rebuilt out here. This thing in a hurry to go higher. ES looks like it wants to go and test its old level. Let's just see where I have this marked out. Yeah, sort of 73 up to 87, something like that on the ES. Let's check that lines up with the spiders on the ETF for that old low. Clearing out liquidity now. Yeah, so spiders into the same kind of level here. So acceptance over 65, 565.50 basically allows potential upside continuation, which so far it's having. It's 50 points or 50 cents up from that already. What a monster this is. Monster move here. 162 points up here already. Wow. Need this to cool off. If you're in runners, well done. I hesitated on buying G to G. What's that got to go? Not sure what that means. Nate, but don't worry. Just take the next one when it sets up. All right, so we have a seller all the way up at 20,000. That's where we're saying we might want to go today. We need liquidity to be built out. We cannot just join this here when it is just drifting high. This thing is not stopping right now. All right, MAG all green other than Tesla. Tesla the weak one, 2.5% down. Nvidia 0.5% up. Meta 0.85% up. Google 0.25% up. Amazon 0.33% up. Microsoft 0.25% up. Apple 0.5% up. Look how it's building that liquidity. All right, don't get trapped in trying to join here hoping it goes higher. All right, these guys at some point are going to get knocked out. Let it build out some structure. You are extended from flow zones. You're extended from everything right now. Let's mark out the open as well before I forget, like I do every single day. Why have I missing a bar there? Trading view. Good old rollover. Let's have a look what that open was. 88, I believe. Literally missing a bar there, unless that's a gap up bar, a volume imbalance maybe. No, missing. Look, I'm missing a whole bar. I'm on a 1 minute chart and I'm missing a whole bar. Nuts, nuts. Trading view having struggles and issues this morning. All right, let's wait now for this pullback, see if we get this pullback and build out some liquidity over the next 15 minutes or so into 10 o'clock. Remind myself, I think we're clear now. I know that we had that 8:30 print. Let's double check here. Okay, business inventories, home builder consumer confidence index. Not red news, but there is news at 10 o'clock. Let's just see now what we end up doing. Waiting to see if we can build out some structure on a pullback here. Some form of bullish structure to get involved in. Remember, if we start failing inside, this will be the move that we talked about because we would have stolen the liquidity. If we fail down here, That'd be a failed breakout. What we want to see is some form of structure here, maybe a 2-leg, something like that, and all the way back upside and continuation higher. That would be really nice. Right, if we can get acceptance, we can think about that move upside today. But low hanging fruit, been and gone. We got it already. Just waiting now, letting it build out now, thinking about how deep it can come. Plenty of room for this to come back down all the way into 770s and around there where we broke out from. Plenty of room for this to come back down if it wants to. Ideally, we get some sort of 2-leg pullback. I don't really want this to flag straight here. Ideally, 800 or lower. Seller on the book at 850 up there, an 85 lot. 1 minute right here, you're looking at 1 minute. But like we always talk about, we don't trade off the 1 minute, we execute, but we trade off the hourly and the 5 hour and the bigger time frames. We're looking at the bigger time frames where we execute on the lower time frames. My trading view has a bullish shaded box running from session to session. Can't figure out where it came from or how to get rid of it. It must be on one of your indicators, Tyson. It won't let you select it. If it won't let you just click on it and delete it, it sounds like it's an indicator. So far, drifting into that 800 and holding in front of it. 2-leg pullback would be ideal here. ES already making new highs again. So ES in a hurry to keep going here. We want a 2-legged pullback here, really. A little bit deeper. The deeper, the better right now. Remember, watch your ATR. A new 15-minute candle here. Some sort of dip into the old 5 or 15 would be really nice. Somewhere down towards 760. And then see it hold somewhere down there would be, I mean, that might be even too deep, but something like that would be fantastic. I want to see that dip down and buyers step back in. Don't want to buy high here. Remember, we're buying 100 points higher right now than we were this morning when we took this trade, when we started getting that flag break. ES continuing to hold price up here, though. Looking for a little bit of a deeper drive lower first. If it flags here, so be it, but I would like to see this come lower first. If we go all the way back into and inside the range, I'm probably going to leave it alone the rest of the day. If that's the one trade we get, then so be it. I don't think it will be. I think we get more, but just making that clear. I'm not looking to hang around and trade an inside bar today. I want to trade an outside bar on the daily. Here's the second leg. Perfect. So how deep can we go now? Deeper drive, the better. Here. Considering anything down here, if it can keep going a little bit lower would be good, like somewhere down into here and find a bid. Right, we're looking for like a 2-leg, something like this, and then a pivot back up. Something like this would be ideal. Wow, Tyson, I don't know what to say there. That is odd. Have you tried doing the reload where you right click and do reload tab? Maybe that will fix it. That is annoying if it's doing that. So this is kind of area we're starting to get interested in now. Again, not buying the dip, waiting for it to put in some form of bullish structure here. Hopefully we see some form of bullish structure here that we can think about trading. We've got a newsprint at 10 o'clock. It's not red folder, but we do have a newsprint at 10 o'clock. If it goes too deep, then that failed breakout has have a possible kind of play here. All right, so we did talk about that at the open as well. If we fail above here and we come back inside, it means if we can't get acceptance above the range, it's going to be a problem. We're coming back into sort of those daily levels now, back down towards 700. This is going very, very deep here. Mag 7 all going red, by the way. Now everything red. So I'm just waiting here. Like I said, I'm not buying the pullback. It's going to need to shift momentum back upside, because I'm very aware if they're going to do a failed breakout here above CPI and they can come back into range, then they get stuck. So we're going to let this sort of just wash down. Hopefully it traps sellers and then finds a bid. And we'll join once and if it finds a bid in a bullish pattern, not before. Back to PDH here. We start getting underneath that 930 level, I'd be highly concerned. What am I printing here? 99, 930. This is wrong. There. Why don't we short this pullback? Well, there's nothing to really short of here yet, Brad, structure-wise. It's just a failed breakout. So we're still technically bullish. If you think about how we're moving, we're still technically bullish until it starts taking out here and gets heavy. So if you short this pullback, you're likely to be shorting versus higher time frame traders who might want to buy this to go upside. Right? So it's a much harder trade. There was nothing to really play off. So here you go. It's trying to find a bid now. ES trying to find a bid as well. So we're watching. Watch this imbalance. If it starts to flip this imbalance again, we might get use of liquidity like this. This is what we're talking about. If we can use liquidity in that kind of fashion. Momentum was quite strong there on that drive lower though, must say. ES trying to find a bid here. ES still looks very good in terms of its structure compared to NQ. It looks very, very good. If we start flipping this imbalance and building that right shoulder, we can have a fun time. Big if right now, but if it does, that's what we're going to be thinking about. Here we go. So pull back and joining this for the squeeze upside. And then I can re-add if we build that right shoulder. Already feeling this imbalance. So just being careful in case they try and produce a lower high up here. And then I can re-add if we build that right shoulder. So taking some off into this in case we produce this lower high. And then if not, I'm going to re-add here for this move upside. All right. Anything failing under here, I'm out and in the money already. Fantastic. Here we go. Here we go, folks. So trapping those shorts like we talked about, looking good. If we can build out more structure, we're going to go further upside. All right. So if we can build out some structure up here, remember, this is your inverted head and shoulder. It needs to get back above this to do this. All right. We need to use these guys here. These sellers need to become our liquidity to go higher. Hopefully that all makes sense. This again, planned out before, wasn't it? It was planned out up here. I said, don't long up here. We look for a two leg. And then we're going to look for this, starting to play nicely. Looking really, really, really good here. Again, if we come below flow zones, I'll take this one off. We've only got a small piece on it. No close beneath any of these flow zones so far, holding momentum. Everything's saying upside right now. Want to see it print back up here though. It must hold. Oh my gosh, let me draw this. It must hold these levels here and print this. If it fails here and comes back underneath this level here, then I'm going to assume we'll come back down to the lows, which is why I'll be taking my position off. Lovely, Clint. Yeah, you got that long as well. Lovely. Like we said, we wait for that momentum to step back in and then we join it. This is looking really, really good here. might trade back and forth for a little bit here while it tries to build out and make its decision. Here we go. Looking good. Looking very good here, folks. Looking fantastic here. Remember, we've got that seller 850. Whoa, it's an 800 lot now. Is he real? That's some serious flipping size if he's real. Or is he that spoofer back on the tape again? Watch the spread as well. What I would say, one of the things, like, you're going to get knocked out more often today than normal and all week because of the spread. 5 minutes until that new hourly bar. Watching this hourly bar. This hourly bar, the next hourly bar can afford a big pullback if it wants. That's one thing to be aware of. Can afford a big pullback if it wants to. ES did print a new high there. I want to be careful in case there's a failed breakout here. ES did print a new high there. So if they produce this lower high up here, it's going to be dangerous after we've had some divergence in the tape, which is what you might see here a little bit. So ES taking out the high. Oh, that's a little bit ugly seeing that. I'm going to be honest. I'm very tempted to take this off here. Yeah, market got starting to find a bit of a pullback here after ES swept that liquidity at the high. What are we doing here, market? We're going to get going? It's jumpy, isn't it? It is jumpy. Seller still all the way up there. 800 lot at 850. Reclaiming 800 here on the tape. Are we going to get going? Big level here, this 800. Psychological level. Again, we said acceptance over 800 today can offer a squeeze. Failure to hold and base above that can be a failed breakout. ES going to have another attempt at that high. We want to see strength from ES here, really. If they start selling into this high again, it's going to be problematic, I think. Maybe we're going to build out this right shoulder and have another go here. This would be really good if it does. Might get some fireworks. How long to that new bar, though? This is the one problem. New 4-hour bar and hourly bar coming. And this hourly bar is a big old bar. So if this wanted to pull right the way back, it could easily do so. That has me a little bit concerned. Remember, there's news. I've got to remember that as well. There's news at 10 o'clock. Must remember that. News at 10 o'clock. Still think we're building out some nice liquidity here. Again, the problem is the ES. ES swept the liquidity of the highs. ES, so we're clear. This move here, ES took this out and has come back inside. So it's taken some pain out already. This is the one problem. And we've got news at 10 o'clock. Mm. 1 minute left, just over a minute left. Book's starting to thin out on this news. It's starting to get really, really thin on this news, folks. You have 1 minute left. Remember, ES has taken out its highs. We are at supply. I'm going to actually remove this. We've been in it. We are at supply. There is a chance to move higher today if we can get acceptance up and over these levels. You've got a newsprint about to come on a rollover week, and the book's thinned out, so just be careful. Either be in a runner and have your stop nice and tight, or just don't be in this trade. It's up to you how you want to manage it, but do not get washed out with a nasty wick on a newsprint. In those imbalances that we created, that BPR, if you like, for you ICT traders. Here's your newsprint. What is this hourly candle going to do? This is the question. Watching this hourly candle, are we going to go for expansion, or do we need to pull back further and go for a wick test down towards 44? Maybe even deeper towards retrace the whole last hour. It's more than capable. I'm just going to have a quick look at the 4 hour. Well, that is the 4. Let me have a look at an hour. Well, the hourly looks better. The 4 hour is the one that has the potential to reprice. Just sat waiting for it to do its thing here. Not looking to execute anything right now. Like I said, the big divergence in the tape is that ES took the high. That is ugly, 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 ugly when you see that. So not giving me confidence that this is going to go higher yet. So have to wait and let it do its thing. And we had the low-hanging fruit trade. We had it already. We already had it. So now we're waiting. Back to previous week low here. Big, or this should be previous week low, but it's a big pivot point. Anywhere down into here, I'm probably going to leave everything alone. I'm not looking to trade down into here. Like I said, there's so much been built there the last few sessions, or over the whole of last week from Tuesday onwards. It's not of interest to me. So far, we had divergence, right? ES did this move. We were long for this move here. Failed to build the liquidity and drive higher. We're now into that new hourly and 4 hour bar. So now I'm risk off and just waiting, letting it do whatever it needs to do here. Mag 7 going red now. Book is still really thin, guys. There's nothing on the book right now. Is that print delayed or something? Because there is no one on the book right now other than that big seller. No, they've come out. Inventories have come out. Building out in that range. Needs to hold this kind of area that we're in this morning for a potential run higher later. But Mag weak. All right, all of Mag now red. Again, ES took the highs. That divergence played out. VIX trying to find a bid here as well in front of 21. Messy. I think we got the best trade of the day. We had an attempt to that second one. Got a little piece out of it, not much. Again, never quite got acceptance up and over here like ES did. That's because Mag is weaker. So ES coming back down towards previous day high. SPY into its VWAP right here, right now. QQQ already beneath its VWAP. So we have relative weakness in the Qs. You can see it on the tape with the Mag. You're in shorts. Nice, Mr. Slim. You look good right now from that turn. Starting to let go of these like we talked about. Once it lets go of these, it's problematic. I'll be watching your covers into, or at least partials into that New York Open, previous day close. And VWAP, just be careful. SPY keeps finding a bid off VWAP so far. All morning, every dip into VWAP, SPY has held. Book is so thin. I can't, like, there's no liquidity come back onto it since on this March contract. Other than that 800 lot, no liquidity has come back onto it since. Oh, there you go. Change your extended hours. I'm glad you found it, Tyson. It's nothing more frustrating than that, is it? There's just boxes on your charts and you can't figure out why. So we swept that internal low there so far. What does this market want to do, though? That's the question. The sweep of this internal low. If this market just sort of stops moving here, then probably call it a day early, because we're in rollover. That would just mean they're just going to keep swapping their books over and not move. But so far looks good for downside. You're getting that bear flag starting to roll over here a little bit. Does the spiders, or do the spiders, I should say, let go of the VWAP? If we start letting go of everything, then we do have these London and Asia ranges, right? Globex high, oh, don't do that. Globex high here and Globex low here. So far, we're still gapping up technically versus this level. All right, still holding a gap versus that level for now. And we're still inside initial balance, still technically printing an outside day right now. Above previous day high, above previous day close, we're technically printing an outside day. Do we get acceptance above for that outside day? This is what we're thinking about today. Can we go continuation higher or not? So watching this imbalance, if they start to flip it, this would be a two-leg pullback. And if they start bidding this up, we're going to go all the way back to highs on rotation. ES looking relatively strong between the two of them, as expected. But low-hanging fruits have gone. We keep talking about it. I'm becoming less and less interested because we took CPI out. I will become more interested if we start to print up here again. All right, I'm more interested. I'm really have no interest in trading in here today. None. So in a hurry to go back upside here. You can feel it. VIX trading back down towards low of day again. So is it an internal sweep to go all the way back upside? That's what it feels like right now, watching it. Like, again, we've flipped this imbalance now. Do we get a close above? Did it just need to do a second leg lower before doing this move? Is what I'm asking right now. Are we going to do the move we originally looked for? If we can start getting up and over here, an acceptance back above 800, basically. That's what I'm waiting for right now. So far, just ranging. Nothing to do yet. All right, here's your pivot high. There's your low, lower high. Technically lower low, but just a sweep. So does it produce a lower high here to go back down, or do we get acceptance back up here? Not touching anything until I see what we're doing. Just letting this do what it wants. Flow zone starting to flatten out as well. Everything's starting to flatten out and go in a range here. Like I said, the book, there is nothing on the book This is why I hate rollover week. I'm looking at the book and there's like 4 and 5 lots. Well, that could be you guys. You know, we're not seeing 20, 30, 40, 50 lots on the book. They are tiny, tiny orders. I do not like that. Do not like that. I can't believe there's more volume on the new contract yet. So that just means, you know, they're gently rolling each contract over. Peter, calling it a day. Got other things to do, so best not to be in the chart. See you tomorrow. All right, Peter, take care. Don't blame you. Rollover week, always an ugly week. So back to previous week low here, or previous week low, we should call it. But a big pivot back on those flow zones. Swept the internal liquidity. Technically, on the lower time frame, we're in lower highs and lower lows, but we are potentially building out a flag here on a higher time frame. We're holding key levels on the hourly right now. Again, SPY has held its VWAP all day long. Right, it's not willing to let go of that VWAP today. We're just in a range. Midpoint of the initial balance. Initial balance only 164 points today. 20 minutes left. That's all we're in right now. We're just in the IB. If we're going to show weakness, we're going to have to get underneath these levels for me to consider anything. And then I'd consider a trade back down to newsprint low and the Globex levels. But it's going to have to really show me weakness for me to want to get involved short side today. Microsoft starting to go green here. Apple trying to go green here. Let's see how they act here at these open prices. Big levels where we're at here. The market can find a bid. It's got that potential to move back up towards high of day. An acceptance over 800. It's got potential to do more than that. Starting to flip that imbalance. Waiting to see if we build out that right shoulder kind of liquidity here. Can we build something out of interest? Again, the liquidity is so thin that it's making it really hard for me to think about joining. It looks like it's in a bit of a hurry here now. Some sellers starting to join back in now. They're starting to see a little bit liquidity come back on the tape. But look at the size, like 8 lots, 10 lots, 6 lots. ES trading back towards near high of day now. We are starting to do that sort of bullish look that I was looking for. We're doing it a bit later. It needs to build out more. I really want to see some more participants on the tape than what I'm seeing right now. This is a little scary on rollover when it's like this. This 15-minute candle, if we close like this, is very strong. Those last two 15 minutes, long old wicks on the bottoms. If we start pivoting up, those shorts near the lows on those 15 minutes get stuck after holding that 15-minute imbalance. Will cause the painful run upside. Again, book thinned out again. It keeps thinning out. All dips starting to be soaked here across both indexes. Right shoulder starting to be formed here, starting to join in small size. Stop already in the money. I don't fully trust this with the way the book is right now. In this small size now, holding flow zones, looking for that right shoulder and that squeeze. back towards high of day. Acceptance over 800 would be good. We're over 800 now. Want to see it hold 800. There we go. Fantastic. We just had to wait. Want to see it take out this internal liquidity at 20s. ES back towards high of day here. We look good. Can we take this internal liquidity out? 1950s/20s and then a drive back up. MAG trying to go green here. Tesla the weak one. We should get through this. We should get through 20. You shouldn't be stopping there without taking it, but we know what NQ's like the last week. We should really get through that 20s. A bit of a triple top here on ES as well. The ES with relative strength. The ES right now printing right up towards high of day so that you're aware of the difference. Look at the difference. VIX fresh low of day. Can tech get going? Can tech get going here and join in the party? So in this small size, wouldn't mind it building out like a new flag here as long as it doesn't come too deep. Can't really come beneath sort of 90. There's the hold of 800. No one's on the tape again, though. Don't like it. No one is on the tape today with the rollover. Bias remains upside. My bias remains upside. I think we can. It's possible if we get going over 800 for a bigger trade here. ES getting stuck near high of day here. Hasn't cleared out. How long have we got? 15 minutes left to a new imbalance. New 15-minute bar printing. Those last two 15-minute bars were very, very strong. Look at the wicks on those last two 15-minute bars. As long as we can hold here sort of around the 90s, then we have potential for that room upside. If we can't do that, then this trade thesis goes out the window, basically. But you can see what it's trying to do. It's trying to do this. We tried to do it here, and it didn't, so it came down, swept this out. It can try and do it around here now. Needs to hold this for that move. Failure to hold this, then all bets are off again. And then we just go into messy price action. So it's getting a little bit close here. Might take this off here. Not convinced and can always rejoin in. There you go. Messy, messy price action. We expect this in rollover week. Can always rejoin in. If it's willing to hold, we'll rejoin in for another attempt. Back to flow zones, which are flat. Look at the shape of the flow zones. Look at the shape of everything right now. Flat. Mag 7 starting to go red again. This thing can't make its mind up. We just want a new high of day here. High of day will just clear everything out and then we can make a decision. Just in a range so far this morning. But we're in a range above previous day high, above previous day close. Right, we're in a range above these levels. This is acceptance to go higher. Not looking for a short unless we get clearly below these levels. All right, anything there. This is our range on the day. And this is where we're getting acceptance above. All right, so have to just be careful. Underneath here, very, very risk off. The tech has relative weakness here, right? ES still looking good for that drive higher. Maybe we build out a right shoulder here and we can rejoin. Just waiting right now. Needs to get back above 800. Remember, big seller on the book is way up. Oh, he's gone. I was about to say he's up at 850. He's not even there. All right, so they've lifted that. So you've got some selling into 850, only an 82 lot, then into 875 and then 900. So that's where it wants to go. It wants to get up there towards the 900s. They've pushed liquidity up there to get filled up there. It's just whether it's got the strength today. The MAG is red right now. Tesla 3.61% down. Nvidia just under 1% down. Meta 0.25% down. Google has just gone green to red. Amazon over 0.5% down. Apple hanging around open price or close price from Friday, I should say. Microsoft just about green. Like it's not doing anything here. This might be a no trade kind of day at the moment. Unless we build this right shoulder and really get going. We've had a couple attempts at it. It might be a no trade kind of day. Lacking liquidity. Maybe now we go. Is this going to be it on the right shoulder? Can we get acceptance back above 800? You can see it's trying to build out that right shoulder. The problem is the flow zones. Everything's flat. And that we're in rollover. They're just jostling position back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So can we get here? There's some selling in 800, 805, 810, 815. Not big size, all right? Not big size when I'm saying they're selling. I want to see us just rip through high of day here. All right, first time saying it today. We got that low-hanging fruit super early in the session today. Lots of you watching right now have not hit that like button. Smash that like button for me, please. Here every single day, Monday to Friday, pre-market into lunch for free. We've already had an absolute banger on stream, and then we had a scalp long. Since then, we've been waiting. So do me a favor, hit that like button, the thumbs up button underneath. It helps this stream grow, helps the community grow, which means I can give back to the community. Here we go, right shoulder starting to build. Can we break out and go for that new high of day? That's what we would like to see here. We'd like to see us break out and go for a new high of day. Stop fanning around market, please. Rollover week, you make it so hard. Let's get going here. Let's get going here, rollover. Let's get going here. ES stuck at sort of that 70 with a high of 74. We want to see it just break through. The mag can find a bid, it will really, really help here. VIX hanging around near low of day. How many attempts does it need to get up there? ES couldn't get through higher day, still trying. Not quite there yet, pulling back about 5 points off that. VIX starting to base out towards the lows here. So if we don't get going soon, I'd be concerned because you're going to get one side stuck. If this can't break out soon, then the buyers up here are going to get stuck. Here you go, like this. So this is the problem. It's had enough chances to get up there and it's unable to do it. It's always ugly on rollover. And this is prime example why I hate rollover week. So maybe one more dip down, have one more attempt back upside. If they soak here and go, I will think about it. We're watching for this basically right shoulder and flag. It needs to break and come with momentum. I want to see this pullback, low volume and momentum and volume come back in. Take out this liquidity, partial off into here, runners above that. That's what I'd like to see. Whether it does it or not is a whole different ball game. That's what we're looking for. Flow zone's flat, into chop zone here. Just waiting here. Cannot trade this as we're trading sideways. Needs to wait for volume to come back in. Exactly, Coop. Yeah, we got our money in that first trade this morning. We got that low-hanging fruit trade. My bias, definitely if it wasn't rollover week, my bias is upside in this move today. But just the way that the book looks, anyone watching the book map, if you just look at that, it is not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight. ES looking good though. ES is still absorbing 2-minute flow zones. SPY is still above the VWAP. It still has liquidity up there it wants to go and gun for. Can't really get a sustained bid above 800. That's the key thing. I think there's a move here today into even those two old trend lines intersect all the way up at like 900, 920. I think there's a move up to there. I just wonder if rollover's going to get in the way, you know. So if we go flat, not touching it, as we know, Alex does not like trading ranges. Alex likes trading momentum. Here we go. So you've had your two leg there now. There's your little W above. It has to get going now. All right, it does not need to build any more liquidity than this. Has to get going now. Otherwise, that's going to be me. No more trades rest of the day. Exactly, Miguel. Yeah, the book is horrible, isn't it? That's exactly. It looks like you're trading like Asia right now. That's because it's rollover. They're split between the two books, and that's what makes this week very, very hard. So I said right at the beginning of the stream, if you haven't traded rollover before, it is not a normal week. It only happens 4 times of the year. So ask yourself, do you need to trade aggressively these 4 weeks of the year? The answer is probably no, you do not. So ES getting stuck again there. Failed to do the move all the way back to previous day high. VWAP on deck now. Like everything's starting to look more and more and more ugly here by the minute. Back towards the lower side of the range again. What were my thoughts on the F1 race? Absolute carnage. Absolute carnage. Great race. Enjoyed the first 20 minutes. Got bored for the middle, well, the meat of the race. And then the last 20 minutes was carnage. Happy to see Lando win. Really happy to see Lando win. Felt really sorry for some of the rookie drivers. I think they had a really tough time, didn't they? Really tough time. Yeah, totally, Miguel. Yeah. Crazy last few laps. I'm not a Max fan, I've got to say. He did well to do that extra single lap and stay out on the slicks when it was raining. Like, that's a serious drive to be able to do that. Yeah, I hate Max, but fair play. That was a serious drive from him to hold on. So weakness here back towards previous day high. We're just chopping around here. We're basically at just below the midpoint, I'd say, of the initial balance range. ES coming back towards its SPY coming back towards its VWAP. QQQ already underneath its VWAP. Maybe we're going to come out and wash all this range now. All those buyers up there looking for the move we were hoping to get, which never fully set up. We had a couple of attempts failing, and we're coming back towards that New York Open and VWAP now. As the mags start to sell. Tesla dragging this market down, almost 5% down now. That thing is a piece of SHIT. No one wants to buy it right now. Elon has done a good job in scaring off all investors. Lots of driver changes from last season. Yeah, tons and tons. I tell you what, if it continues like this the next 2 races, I think Liam Lawson's going to be in trouble because Yuki really put his hands up at the start of this season, and they didn't give him a chance when they probably should have. I thought he'd That was the better driver for RB last year, better than Daniel and better than Lawson. Didn't get the shot. Christian, for some reason, doesn't like him. And, you know, he's put his hands up. They can't ignore him forever. All right, SPY here again into its VWAP. Did we sweep there? Yes, we did. Back towards previous day close and settlement. Just feels heavy here, doesn't it? Feels a little heavy here. Again, if we start going underneath these levels, there is a short. I'm not going to take it for the move back towards Asia and London. I think that's an ugly move, and I'm just going to sit flat. I'm going to sit flat and wait. Or even better, I might just get off early if we do that. SPY now acceptance underneath VWAP. This is getting more and more ugly by the second. There's your opening print. ES trading back towards previous day high here, as is the SPY, coming very, very close to it now. I wonder if they close that gap here. What was the morning print open? No reason to. To trade down to PDC, we opened there and ripped. Why is VIX pumping? I mean, I wouldn't say it's pumping. It's, you know, it's moved off 20.88 to 21.16. It's not a huge move yet, but it's because we've gone risk off in the market. We failed to get back above those weekly pivots on the ES and stuff, but we're still just trading in a range. We're nothing more than in a range right now. Big range, but we're in a range. The bottom side of the range. Remember, this is where we opened this morning, back towards IB low, back towards the VWAP. Finding a bid off the NQ VWAP so far in front of the IB low. We swept all the internal range, so we go back towards the low side of the range. And here's the pump back towards previous day high. So just a range day right now until anything else sort of comes and proves itself. That's all we're in right now. Just a range day until we prove ourselves. If we start getting acceptance lower, then again, the overnight levels can be in play potentially. I agree, Edmund. Albon is a great driver. Again, him and Gasly never got given a good enough drive at Red Bull. Like Christian, too impatient with them, which is hilarious when you think how impatient he was with Checo and stuff like that. But he was too impatient with them. Albon, a great driver. And that Williams, I wouldn't be surprised. That looked semi-competitive. All right, maybe not for first or second, but it looked like a competitive car this year. So obviously they had that technical issue with in Sainz's car and he went flying off. But yeah, it's got a shot. It's got a shot this year. So swept the bottom side of the range. Do we come back inside the range? Right. So basically this is your box for the day. All right, if we get acceptance under here, we can come down to here. If we get acceptance back inside, we just go back upside to here and then maybe back to the top side of this. It's really ugly out here today, guys. This is kind of what we expected. So we got that one big trade this morning, and everything ever since then it's been shite. It's not offered anything. Still, at least half of you have not hit that like button on stream. Come on, folks. It's really not that hard. Smash that like button underneath for me. Do me a favor. I know it's more of a boring trading day today, but it's just what it is. I can't control the market. Just going to grab some more water here and I'll be right back. we go. Got my morning coffee now as well. Even better. I'm not convinced by that Antonelli. I'm not convinced. They were talking him up really, really big. Time will tell. So market so far holding the VWAP, holding the New York Open. What a boring, boring morning here. Sorry, guys, not much I can do when it's like this. Tape's still very, very thin here. Mag all red now. Microsoft about to go red potentially on the day as well. So it had a chance to sustain a bid above 800. It failed to sustain bids back here. We're back towards our opening price on the day. If we get acceptance below the opening price, then, you know, it's kind of like a lookout below all the way down to the Asia range, which is basically 550 to 600 or 620 down to 550 kind of range. I'd be watching very, very carefully if it's going to come all the way back down into that level. There's your IB low, starting to break lower now. So this is starting to get very, very ugly here for the market, failing to get acceptance. Book still very, very thin. So we've had one good trade this morning, one little scalp, nothing else working right now. This is exactly what I didn't want to see today. I didn't want us to trade back into all of last week's range, because it's going to make it really, really crap for the rest of the week if we're just going to go into there. That means we're going to trade in a 2-week range if we do that. It's not what I want. Really not what I want. Bounce off the IB there, back to VWAP here. Did they fail auction here, the IB? Surely not. Pretty decent drive here. And if they rotate this, it's going to be hilarious. Back towards flow zones. Are they going to do a rotation off that low? ES held previous day high, by the way. Feels like they're looking at that rotation play now, watching the initial balance, see if they hold it. It would make sense if we're in a range. It would make sense to think about, oh, we're going to do a rotation. So off the IB, what I'm going to think about where, I don't know how I'm going to do this if my charts aren't working here. Where's my 30? All right, back towards here maybe. So IB low back towards this VWAP print up here, which is also previous week low. So back to previous day high here. just in a rotation play, not touching anything, just calling what I'm seeing right now. But maybe that failed look underneath the IB low and failure underneath the New York Open. Maybe they grab a bid there and now they're going to go back upside towards that anchored VWAP previous week low. Again, sustained bids over that, over these levels, then we think about that upside auction, but we haven't had a sustained bid. It's had chances to do it. It's had numerous chances to do it and it failed to do it. Think about up here. There's your first pivot. It could have put in liquidity here to go. It failed. It swept this. It had another attempt to put in liquidity to go higher. It failed. Now it swept everyone out. Maybe now it's trapped shorts and we can trade back to here. We have to wait again. We have to wait. Stuck at PDH. Yeah. Risky little play, but like it did make sense. But we're technically lower time frame. We're in a downtrend now. But like on a 1 minute, we can pivot above here to do that relief rally. But I just don't like anything right now. I don't like how anything's setting up. Because on a 5 minute, we can potentially like build out a bigger and head and shoulders type look. If this was a failure, if we get stuck here, acceptance under here will be the neckline break. Nice, Tyson. Yeah, just waiting here. One good trade and that's it so far. Back into the midpoint of the range, really, aren't we? When you think about it. Underneath our New York VWAP now, but above the initial balance. And into that 5 minute imbalance. 5 minute imbalance above us, trying to hold us down right now. That's where we're at. Just an ugly, ugly day. Might change this afternoon. Maybe this afternoon you get relief. Tomorrow is a no news day. And then obviously you've got Fed, FOMC decision on Wednesday. More news on Thursday and rollover. So let's see here. If we get acceptance back above the 5 minute imbalance, it might want to trade up. We're watching that VWAP. Does it trade all the way into that VWAP right now? Keeps failing at previous day high kind of level here. Can't get acceptance over that on the NQ. The ES is already over it, all right? ES will not accept beneath it. ES has relative strength in the session. Much, much better looking chart. It's trying to trade back towards that VWAP like we talked about. Into that 5 minute imbalance here. Feels like it's trying to drift upside, doesn't it? Oh, there you go. It's going for that VWAP. So it's going from IB towards VWAP like we talked about. Very close now to hitting that VWAP. Previous week low hanging there right next to the VWAP. That's the level it's trying to get into right now. That's the level we need acceptance above. There in 800, it needs acceptance above. Okay. Jake Farm, what is the ES? ES is the futures for the S&P. Right, so we're looking at the NQ. I'm also watching the ES. I sort of trade them as a pair. When we look at the top 500 companies in the world, we're looking at the ES, or in America, I should say. Looking at the ES and the SPY. When we're looking at tech-heavy 100 companies, the best tech 100 companies, we're looking at the QQQ. So we trade the NQ, which is over here, what you're looking at. So still stuck in that 5-minute imbalance, still stuck underneath the New York VWAP. Still in a range. We are confirmed in a range right now. Nothing outside the initial balance. The only outside we are trying to do is on the daily, and we have not had acceptance above that old Friday low, right? The old weekly low from Friday the 7th. Ironclad, yeah. We had one really good trade this morning. Since then, it's been a bit short. We took this for this move here. And since then, just waiting. Well, I think we had one trade here to here. And then I was out partial here. And I said, if we come under this, I'm out. And that was it. And it's had another attempt to do it and failing. And now feels like all these buyers up here are currently stuck. And we're just rolling over the contract. So the book is thin. Harder to get like a really good read this morning with that book so thin. "15 minutes till a new H1 bar. We're still holding those 700 levels, which for me were key all day. If we hold 700 thereabouts, it still has the chance to base and go upside. $750s here. Just having a look at the book. There's nothing on this book right now. It's trying to get to that anchored VWAP that we talked about. That's where it's trying to get to. There in previous week low. That's where it wants to go. Midpoint of the range though. And you've got a battle of time frames now. 1 minute wants to trade upside. 5 minute probably wants to trade downside here. Hourly wants to trade upside. There's just a lack of alignment. Yeah, I declined my ninja roll. Not enough volume on there yet for me. I'll probably roll it tomorrow or something. But I might not trade Wednesday. Often I don't trade Wednesday when there's FOMC. Probably have a look in the morning and then go from there. And Thursday and Friday I'm on holiday, so I will miss some of the roll, which I'm sort of thankful for, to be honest. All right, still getting stuck in that 5 minute imbalance, still stuck underneath the anchored VWAP, still stuck underneath previous week low. All right, there is no upside potential until we get above all these levels up here. We are just in a rotational range until then. I'll try and stay with you here another hour and a bit, but this is like watching paint dry, isn't it? Hopefully the market can do something for us. We can have some fun. Watching to see if we can reclaim some of these areas and if we're really going to get going here today. Have they done enough messing around? The reason I'm holding out and rolling, there's not enough volume on the new contract yet. Once there's more volume on the new contract, I'll roll. Yeah, once there's more volume. Normally Tuesday or Wednesday, normally you start seeing sometimes Tuesday, but normally towards the back end of the week, most of the volume starts rolling over, and you just join where the volume is, because I want to read the tape, which is thicker. At the moment, they're both very thin. And then we'll have to adjust all our drawings on the charts as well, which is never fun, is it? That's 5-minute balance still holding us down. It still can't get a bid up there. Still no reason to long. Still getting stuck. Still not in multi-time frame. 1 minute technically isn't a buy above here. All right, but flow zones are still red. 5 minute technically isn't a sell below here. 1 hour technically is in a buy still. So it's just no alignment. There is no alignment. This is what happens when there's no alignment. We go back and forth till we get some alignment. Look at the ES. It's just like sideways. Completely sideways. Has been all morning. NQ is actually producing lower highs and lower lows, technically. ES is literally sideways. Absorbing VWAP again, absorbing PDC again, absorbing in front of New York Open again. And nothing to do here. Do not become the liquidity. Just wait. Just wait. Let everyone else get trapped. Just wait. The reason I'm quiet is because nothing's going on here of interest. If you didn't see, I dropped 2 new videos this weekend. All right, those of you who were in chat on Friday, we had a really good talk on Friday about like psychology, common errors, things like that. I cut that video up and put it up. So that's available. And then yesterday I did one on the difference basically between Apex and Tradeify, the various accounts they offer, the true price of all of those, and which ones I recommend for what type of trader. So worth checking out on my feed. I've got one of those pinned right now. Hi, can you recommend a free copier for NinjaTrader 8? There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a free copier. So no, unfortunately not, Juan Carlos. Just spend some money. Why do you want a free copier? If there's one thing you want to spend money on, it's a copier that works properly, right? Because you get a free copier and it's dodgy, and you blow all your accounts because they don't link properly. Replicanto. Use Replicanto. Do I trade gold? No, I don't. I watch it. I watch it. I can get you a second. You will get some money off. With this link. Where are you? Where's my chat gone? Use that link. I think Flow Zone or Flow Zone 20 will get you 20% off. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Never use a free copy. If there's one thing you're going to spend money on, it should be the copier. Should be the copier. Yeah, Spoof at 700, trying to drag the market back down towards him. Same guy, 1,000 lot. He's just being a complete knob the last 2 weeks, isn't he? Yeah, I'm really not interested in this market right now. It's not doing anything right now to pique my interest. Back down towards that 930 open. MAG are all red now. Tests are dragging the market down. SPY back towards VWAP, or is at VWAP right now, but still technically protecting it. ES still protecting previous day high for now, but we're in a choppy rollover market. And look, the 700 guy just left the tape. Of course he did. So again, we're protecting the 5-minute imbalance. There's just no trade here that I like. I just don't want to get chopped up. Maybe we come for that newsprint. It's not out the question that we come for that newsprint. Feels like we're actually going to come for that newsprint. That's exactly what it feels like right now. ES back to previous day high again. Maybe ES wants to go to VWAP. I don't know. But this is really ugly. This is really ugly. Again, NQ making lower highs and lower lows. ES trading sideways. And the book thin. It's rollover week. The book is thin. Starting to feel like we're going to sell back down towards those Asia levels, that newsprint level possible. Starting to feel more and more like that's where it's trying to go right now. New hourly candle in 3.5 minutes as well. NQ now underneath its VWAP, underneath the New York Open. Yes, right on that previous day high again. If we start getting acceptance lower, they're going to go for the Newsweek low and then overnight lows. And nothing I'm trading right here. I just don't want to get chopped up today. All right, I really just not interested in getting wrecked in this market when we're on such thin liquidity. They're starting to add orders now, 670, 665, 660, 655. So they're trying to drag the market down there to get filled. Which is all around that Newsweek. This is just really out of alignment for me personally. If you took that 5-minute short, I guess it makes sense, that bear flag up in balance and then sell, but you were basically shorting back down to this level. Have to see if we break now for lower after sweeping. And you've got a new hourly bar in 2 minutes here. Man, this DOM looks disgusting now. Really gross what they're doing now on the DOM, trying to get out of their positions and move over. This is why I hate rollover week. I absolutely hate this week. It's the worst week to trade by a mile. Only happens 4 times a year. This is why I hate it. Maybe ES back towards PDC and VWAP here. That's what it looks like. New hourly bar in 30 seconds. Let's see what we get in this new hourly bar. Right, because this last hourly bar is a bit of engulfer. We're closing underneath the previous hour low. Well, if we close where we are now, or right at it. So maybe we get that wick lower. and see what it does. Here we go, new hourly bar here. Mag still weak, everything's still red. Back to VWAP. Stuck there at VWAP, stuck there at flow zones. So stuck between the overnight VWAP and the IBL right now and the New York Open. Market just unwilling to give more of a direction. You might be like, well, we've drifted down. We have drifted down, but we're still inside the initial balance right now. ES is still protecting the previous day high right now. We're still boxed in. If you look at the hourly chart, we are printing above old hourly highs. We're printing on a potential RBS level. It's why I'm like not convinced about getting short here. I feel like I can get stuck here. Now, that can change very quickly if they're going to go into a strong sell. But right here, right now, I lack conviction. Yes, still protecting previous day high. Be more ugly. Please be more ugly. Can this be more ugly? I don't think so. I don't think it knows how to be more ugly right now. So why am I saying why I'm being careful? Look at the higher time frame. We're trading back into these levels. Why I don't like the short here, all right? Yes, we can come right back down to here, but the short actually gets better once we get stuck underneath all of these. Doesn't mean you can't trade it. It's just what I'm seeing right now. I'm going to stick to my process every single day. Get a connection here all of a sudden. There we go. Some little glitch. So sweep of IBL there. Didn't quite take the Newsweek low. ES still protecting previous day high. Cannot get a close underneath previous day high on ES. If we're like this the next few days, then there's going to be really limited opportunities. Really limited. Right, Newsweek low, almost getting taken here. Then we're thinking about at this level, these are the levels then. Asia, here and here. So if we get a continuation here, here, and here, if they're really going to go into a strong sell. ES feels like it wants to drift back into VWAP here, which is where we broke out from this morning. So ES is basically coming to the area where we broke out from this morning on the ES, on the spiders. So we're thinking about auction versus failed auction. We've taken that Newsweek. We can get rid of that candle print now. That one there. I'm watching for auction versus failed auction now. So only things left to think about. Are we going to go all the way back down to those London Asia lows, I guess, is the big question here. The thing that will stop that is if ES trades back down to VWAP and previous day close and finds a bid there, which is where it broke out from this morning. This is what I mean. Like, we are not in nice alignment right now, just in general. The mag is weak. We failed to hold bids above 800. Now we're failing to hold bids back above 700. So if we stay heavy here, there's a potential trade down to 620s. If we don't stay heavy here and we reclaim, there's a potential squeeze back upside. Coming up back to retest that IB level now and the New York Open print. ES again protecting its previous day high. If it starts to sell here, ES is going to go for VWAP and PDC. That's what I'm watching on ES. ES has got a long way to go. It can trade right back down to its point of origin in IBL. Way, way, way further down because it has relative strength on the day. This IBL 930 and VWAP and flow zones are going to be key. That blue box, if that becomes a red box, basically, it's going to be key. Like I said, there's short continuation under that. I'd want to see it retest and stay heavy. If it just keeps drifting down, it's going to be hard to join when I know ES has got big, big support. Tesla almost 6% down now. Nvidia 2.15% down. Remember, Nvidia gapped up, right? So giving everything back and some. Meta 1.34%, Google 0.5%, Amazon 1.5%, Microsoft 0.25%, Apple 1.20% down. Feels like we're going to go for those Asia levels now, and an old anchor VWAP. Feels like where we're going. Need to push higher and to see sellers come in. I don't want to short here late in the game with ES coming into a big level where it might get a bounce. That's the one thing that is sort of throwing me off a little bit here. But I'm going to play this short continuation and ES catches a bid at PDC and VWAP. I'm going to get caught. And we're back inside old range now, back in the old weekly range, back in the old daily range. As everything said I didn't want to see happen today. We're trading in a range I don't want to be participating in. Here's the retest. Do they sell into this now? No one on the tape. Tape's empty. RBL being retested here. This is what we wanted to see. Now, either they sell this or we get acceptance back through 930 and VWAP, etc., etc., in flow zones. One or the other is going to happen. Either bear flag continuation back down to Asia level, but like I said, I don't like the area we are trading in for a short. When I'm looking at the hourly, it's an old RBS level. For me, it's screaming mass danger, like major, major problem. ES can still go back to VWAP, remember. So maybe bear flag here. Watching ES if it's going to break. Watching this liquidation break. Are we going to go further down now? Is ES going to hunt for VWAP? What a battle. What a battle. You can see it on the H1. All you got to do is look at that H1. We're drifting into an old imbalance. We're into RBS levels. This is why I'm not convinced about a short down here. I just think if higher time frame buyers step in here, we're in big, big problems. So I'm just sitting out right now. I'd almost prefer to look for the reversal back upside, which is starting to look like it's trying to reclaim now. Big, big level, this blue box here. If we can start doing this over it, this opens up. This under it, yes, there's a continuation trade to here, but like I said, zoom out, look left. It's big, big level on the H1s. All right, this is huge level. Sellers, they might become buyers. Here's your imbalance. If they hold that, it might become buyers for a drift back upside, which is starting to play out now. This is what I'm saying. I don't want to get stuck down here looking for a short. I'm almost more interested in looking for that long. The long would be better if ES had traded all the way back to VWAP. I'm going to be honest. ES had come back to its VWAP and held that, but it's holding previous day high here. Oof. What do I want to do? New York Open here, VWAP here. This is where shorts would have come in that were late to the game. Did ES take that high? Is that a double top? It took it. Okay. In my belly starting to go now. Starting to get hungry. What are we doing, market? What are we doing? That's 700 key. It's been key all day. We called it this morning. It was key this morning for a hold for a squeeze up. And then acceptance over 8. We're back to 7s now. Do we reclaim 7s now? Are we going to go? Reclaim 7s, reclaim VWAP, then we can get going. Otherwise, ES looking good here, but I'm watching that internal liquidity on the left, and they're starting to sell into it after sweeping. And this is just a very tricky day to think about a new trade position. Too early. Too early, yeah. I don't think so. 60 hour. That's 2 days. That's 2 days away yet. I don't think so. I think we're just in a rollover. We're just rolling over the contract. Like they'll deal with that tomorrow. Like into close tomorrow, you'll see the moves getting ready for FOMC. This is just rollover chop for me. There we go. VWAP. Are we going to start to reclaim and go now? So failed auction now. Failed auction under here. Would have liked to have seen ES come back down into VWAP to make it even cleaner. So we're watching this move here. These are big levels. Look how close everything is here. IBL, lower time frame algo, New York Open, VWAP, PDC, flow zones, PDH. Everything's so tight here. It is decision point time. I'd like one more trade, but I'm not going to force my way into it. Not going to force my way into it. Just got to wait. Selling on New York VWAP there. Like I said, the one thing that's a bit worrying, ES just swept internal liquidity. You can see that high that it put in at 11 o'clock. It just swept that high and came back down inside, and it hasn't come back down to VWAP and PDC. So it hasn't done a full-on retest. And if you look at where we opened and drove out from this morning, it can come all the way back there and back test that level. It's making this so tricky, man. It's making this very, very tricky here. How long we got? 40 minutes. It's too early to look for that reversal long, in my opinion, even though I think it might do it. It's too early. Mag's still all red. We're just at VWAP here. Why can't ES just make it easier and come and clean something out first? So reclaiming VWAP here. This is in a hurry now. Shorts might be trapped underneath that IBL here. And we talked about higher time frame buyers likely to come in that position on the hourly. We kept talking about it on the hourly. It was a buy position. So why I didn't like the short down there unless it really, really proved. Tempting to buy a dip down to VWAP here, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just going to go straight up here. Fucking hell, mate. This market, it's not being clean for me. That was the signature. As soon as it did that, I was thinking, yeah, I probably need to buy something down into here for a small position and then build into it here. VIX back down towards lower day here. NQ coming back into that old imbalance, which it failed from over here. Now, hourly doing everything we talked about. Right? Hourly with that little bid under, washed everyone out. induce shorts to come and chase it into an older RBS level, and it's finding a bid. Remember, on the hourly, we came underneath this low, into this imbalance, into these levels, which used to be sellers and are now buyers, and now we're bidding off it. This is everything we talked about. It's why I was like so tempted to get long down there, and I just held and held and held and waited and waited and waited, and I probably hesitated a bit too long, to be honest. Now, always hard when you're looking at these range days. This is why I'm not the best range trader. I might just hesitate that little bit too long, and it costs me 30, 40, 50 points. So I've got to wait now. Not much range after the M15 range. After the morning drive, you mean? Opening the orb. Yeah. I'd agree. Well, there's no range outside of it. It's just failure outside of it. That's all we've had. Absolute failure outside of it. Yes, getting stuck up there. SPY coming back towards its VWAP. NQ can do the same here. And the question here is this a two-leg pullback that they sell, or are they going to hold VWAP? Now, the big problem that I have is that ES did not come down to its VWAP. Scaring me a little bit. It feels like it's in squeeze mode now, doesn't it? Absolutely feels like it's in squeeze mode. Triple high there on the 1 minute. Should just come all the way up to previous day high now. Take all that out, really. What an ugly looking chart. So wanting to see if this is going to break 32, run those stops, run us up to previous day high, and then maybe initiate that squeeze back up towards that anchored VWAP, that light blue line you see on your screen. Here we go. It's going to try and run those stops now. There are the stops. So using that liquidity to move higher in towards the previous day high. Like we said, there's triple high. Should really come and run those. So now we're running back up into here, 42s. And with that aim right now is to do this rotation from IBL failed auction to here. Same thing it tried to do here. Didn't quite do it. We've got to remember today, NQ's coming short a lot. Didn't quite do it. Didn't quite do it. Same story. Fairly frequently on the NQ at the moment. Gets very close and then stops. Make sure I'm on the right accounts here. I'll make sure I don't trade too much money. And if I scalp, I'm just looking for a couple rotation days to take some more payouts here. So I can probably move this to M and Q in that case. Make sure I'm on the right one. So dipping back down towards those key levels again, does it do this move here for the move higher this afternoon? MAG will have to hold. Again, the big problem is ES didn't come and touch its VWAP down here. It didn't come to PDC. It's had relative strength. It didn't need to get there. MAG's still in a sell. All right, none of the MAG going green yet. Just be aware of that. 10. Up. 7. Still can't get through the M5 imbalances, right? If you look at the M5 chart, every kill candle in the M5 chart, which is left in balance, so far this morning is holding the NQ down. All right, so your candle that you printed at 10:30, the candle that you printed at 10:55, those are both holding right now. Never repriced those yet. Come back into them, but it's holding. It's holding very, very strong on those. Bouncing off 9:30 there. What a boring day. So VWAP 9:30, everything very, very close here, like we said. Letting the liquidity build. I really don't think there's going to be another trade for me today. I think that's going to be it. Unless we can build some sort of higher low to go higher. I don't want to short in here. This is, for me, is where shorts will get trapped if the H1 is going to hold. It is a big if. And if I'm wrong, that's okay. I'll just come back tomorrow and we can see what's what. It sucks. Yeah, it does suck. It sucks. It's just how it is sometimes, man. Like we talk about it all the time. When there's a setup, we take it. When there's not, there's nothing we can do. Like we just got to accept, like, there's not always going to be a setup for us. And like we got one this morning. Like I said right in the morning, like this might be it. We got it. 100 points. We had another attempt here to here. And since then, it's never been able to reclaim this level. So buyers up there are stuck so far. It doesn't mean it can't get there later in the day. But for now, there's just no relief in the market. It's got no way of getting up there. And we're just trapping between key levels. We're in a range. We're in the initial balance. We're trying to have some price acceptance above the old levels. And it's not really fully doing it yet. So it's just how it is, you know. Just one of those things. I'll stay with you here till lunch, folks. So if you got any other questions, just shoot them in chat because there's nothing to do here. It's not been a bad day. We'll just take it. Have I ever gone on tilt? Yeah, of course I have. Of course I've gone on tilt. Of course I've gone on tilt. All traders go on tilt. It's normal. The key is recognizing what your triggers are and walking away before that happens. It's one of the reasons I'm being very patient today, because I don't like choppy days. And let's say I overtrade today and take 2-3 trades. Even if those are break-even trades, I know for me, that's a tilt factor. I'm going to try and take some more payouts this week. I'm due payouts on a couple more of my Apex accounts now. Why not switch to a cash account? Why? I don't understand why people are so obsessed with that. Why would you want to switch to a cash account right now? What's the benefit of trading cash right now in the market? I don't see the benefit when people talk about it. My cash is much better being used doing 10 to 11% a year in an ETF, in a fund, or owning a house than it is trading. Way better being used there. No reason to. I've got more leverage here. I'm taking consistent payouts here. I'm past the buffer, so I'm not worried about rules. What's the benefit of me trading cash? Nothing really right now. Much rather have my ETFs buying long term. That's where my cash goes. Okay, so failing here again. God, this is boring, isn't it? Failing here again, back down towards the IBL, towards PDC. PDC, view up, flow zones, IBL, H1 levels. H1 levels, all of these. I'm very, very concerned about these. Yes, we can drift down here. Very, very possible, that Asia level. Again, I don't want to be trapped. With higher time frame buyers stepped in here and had one attempt. Maybe if they start to lose and we really start to wash, but just depends what kind of day we're going to do here. Like ES is up on the day, NQ's down on the day, RTY's up 1%, YM's up 0.5%. It doesn't feel like a big sell day to me. What's my take on shorting Tesla? I mean, from where? Those are like such big questions without like any information in them. Like, there's no way I'd be shorting Tesla here where it's at right now. Just look left. No chance. It broke out from here last Tuesday. It came back and held it last Thursday. It's coming back to test it right now. It would need like a strong breakdown underneath. But my bigger question is, why short Tesla when we're back into a range which it created all through 2021, 2022, 2023? The short on Tesla was on that failed push back up at $434. You're $200 lower than that. So if I was swing short on Tesla, sure, I'd be covering a lot of my position here and holding. But I'm not a new money short here on Tesla. There's absolutely no reason to be short here on Tesla right now as a new money short. None whatsoever. If anything, there's reason to be having some gentle little early actions on the buy to see if it's going to find a bid. It's not a short. Not a new money short. Not right here. And it hasn't had a drive up for a counter trend short. It hasn't come and back tested 327 up to 361, which is more than possible. So if I was swing short, yeah, I'd be holding on to some of my position. As a new money short, would I be entering here on Tesla? No, definitely not. Not a new money short down here. Even if it went without me, it wouldn't make sense to me to be trading that. It's too high risk. All right, liquidation event back towards the Asia levels we talked about. Finally, the ES down to VWAP. So this level that we talked about this morning, ES is finally there. We're coming back down to Asia London high here on the market. ES come down, tap PDC VWAP. So everything I said, the reason why I was cautious earlier, because this is the move. All right, so how we act here becomes key. Do we go into a trend day now? It's possible. Use a bathroom. Be right back. All right, folks, here we go. We're back. Let's see. So holding that Asia level now. Is it Asia or is it London? It's both, I think. Asia, London high, holding that level now, that orange box. Drifted into there. All right, ES back to its point of origin, where we broke out from this morning. It's back into its VWAP. It's back into its PDC. These are big, big areas right now in the market for the ES. Watching this to see if we find a bid here. Oh. Do we start reclaiming these now that ES has done the move it needed for relief, or do they start selling back into this where we just broke out from? Oh, here we go, Jake. Sorry for the poorly asked question. JP Morgan set a Tesla price target of 140. I bought some Tesla shares to short it until 150. I mean, the first thing I'd say is ignore anything JP Morgan says. Don't trade off an opinion that they give, right? They might spook the market, but you should know full well, JP Morgan's plan when they say something like that is to be bidding the other side, right? They're not a genuine short seller in that. I don't believe anything that Diamond has said, if that's what he said this morning. I'd be very, very cautious that they're not just trying to catch the bid, force everyone to panic out and buy it cheaply. So you're swing short, are you? You're saying, JP Morgan, I bought some Tesla shares to short. So I'm guessing you mean you borrowed some Tesla shares to short until 150. Let me get the daily back up. Well, what's your entry, though? Because that's what's key. 150 is a stretch. You'd be liquidating 2024 low there. Or it doesn't say, like, it doesn't have to not go there, but like if you go from the 2024 low to the high, you are in a golden pocket right now. Right? You have done a huge fail already. Huge fail already. Like, considering a short here for a move down to there is it's not good RR. Where's my there we go. Let me do a measuring. It's down 55% already. More than that, actually. Yeah, I don't like. I'd be very, very cautious. And don't be convinced into something because JP Morgan says it. You'd almost like, if you're gonna get short now, you've either got to wait for a big retracement to get short into, or you've got to wait for it to break down and pull back inside. Neither of which it's doing right now. That move it did last week, that Tuesday the 11th low, just came right back into an October level of support, and it found a bid. So I'd be very, very cautious about thinking about anything down at these levels as a new money continuation short. Yes, it has relative weakness versus the market. Yeah, no one really likes it. But from a technical point of view, I'm just talking about technicals. It doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. That would be my opinion. But hey, I'm not trading it. So, you know, if you trade it every day and you like it and you think it's a good short, by all means, take that position. But I think, you know, some of these need a good old retracement, and Tesla probably more than any, even though it's the weakest one. That is a big old drop to be down into a golden zone fib from 2024 low to 2025 high. That is a big retracement. Remember, NQ is down 14%. The ES and SPY was down about 11% at the lows last week off the high. That is down about 50%. Well, more than that. It's down 61, down a 61 fib, down 61%. Very weak to be shorting into. All right, buyer on the tape down here at 625, 100 lot down there, not much below. How low are we going to go? Are we going to let go of this Asia London high, and we're going to go all the way down to Asian London low? It looks like I'm going to have one of those days where I'm not really going to get involved here, and that's okay. That's all right. Yes, back to PDCs, coming back to point of origin right now. Market just in a slow drift lower. Tesla now 6.5 or 6.5% down. Nvidia over 2% down. Meta 1.5% down. Google over 1% down. Amazon just under 2% down. Microsoft 0.2% down. Apple 1.5% down. Market in a bit of a bleed out here. No panic stations or anything like that, but a bit of a bleed out, and we're back into the old weekly range. Last week's range. Everything I didn't want to see. This is where it gets messy. This is last week's range. Drawing tool here. All right, this is last week's range. We're back into it. We wanted to hold bids in the top side of this for this move. Not just because I want to get long here. It's not the only reason, right? Because if we want to get short, we want to get short up here. We don't want to be short down here at the lows. We want a better price short. It needs some relief for us to have like good value. ES back to its VWAP here. So dancing between VWAP and PDC here on the ES, back near its opening print. Full time, like 6 years. Before that, like swings for like 10, 15. Spoofer's back at 710. All right, Spoofer back on the tape at 710. Ten, 15 minutes left. It's finding a little bit of relief here down here off that Asia-London level. Constantly checking my counts here because I'm just having to, if you're wondering what I'm clicking, I'm just cycling through some micros just to make sure I get to the 8 days here where I've made enough. Just on a few of the accounts to make sure I lock in a trading date on them. So if you didn't know, you've got till the end of the month on Traderify. All right, 30% off the 25k, 100k, and 150k accounts for each of them. All right, that is for the advanced growth and straight to funded. 35% off the 50k accounts for those. If you want to learn more about Traderify, if you want to learn more about it, I've posted a video at the weekend. It is pinned to the chat right now. It's a direct comparison between Traderify and Apex. My favorite firms right now are Traderify, Apex, and Take Profit Trader. All right, you can get all the links just underneath. Just got a growth. Yeah, they're the best accounts, those growth accounts, Julian. The 50k growth accounts right now are the best value accounts on the market. I'd say the best accounts after that are probably Take Profit Trader at the moment. Probably Take Profit Trader after that. I will do a video on those soon. My market trying to find a bid here back up to the initial balance low. Remember, ES is still inside of range. ES is retesting previous day high here now. So came back down, closed the gap, now testing previous day high. It is just a little back and forth in a downtrend here still for now. Protecting the Globex levels for now. No bid really on the market yet. We're just in that rollover day, which we keep talking about. We're in a rollover. Again, that spoofer up at 710 right now, 900 lot. Basically at VWAP. VIX starting to build a bear flag here. If VIX starts breaking down here, the ES might get a little bit of relief. It's a big if. You got 10 minutes until a new hourly bar as well. I don't think we're going to do much here this afternoon. It's not setting up to do much right now. Still rejecting initial balance low here for now. Yeah, it's still not in a trade here. I'm just not convinced by a short today because of the H1. Right, that's the reason I don't like the short today. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just hard for me to pull the trigger looking at that H1. Back towards IBL here. ES right at PDH. So our IBL is basically ES's PDH. No worries, Andrew. Yeah, no worries at all. Today, a slow one. A really slow one. But that first trade this morning paid the bills today. That first trade did the damage that we needed all the way up. Paid the bills. Everything since then a little bit choppy. So it's trying to get inside of the IB here. You can see it's trying to do that drift higher now. ES back inside of its PDH. Back towards VWAP here, back towards 930. Do sellers come back in here or do they start to let this through? Remember, we're just in a slow downtrend here. It's not changed until we get above here. Yes, you can argue the M1's changed, but like I said, multi-time frame alignment, not really in position here. Like the 5 minute still saying lows. The 1 minute saying I want to go higher, and the H1, well, technically it should say going higher unless it builds out that right shoulder on the H1, which will take out. Probably need to take the rest of this session at least to do that. At least this session, I would say. Come back towards that VWAP and an old imbalance, 5 minute imbalance. New hourly bar, remember, in 6.5 minutes or so. That's probably going to be it, folks. One decent trade, one little scalp, one break even. Job done. Yeah, not bad for Monday. We'll take it, Slim. We'll take it. I know you got that short. Hopefully that paid you as well. Exactly. We'll just take what we get. Just like a bit of a bouncing ball right now, isn't it? Just like, think about that. Just a bouncing ball. If it starts bouncing the other way, we'll think about that move. If this keeps getting stuck here, maybe they liquidate these for the run down to London. That would need to be quite a strong sell down here, though, on the mag. And other than Tesla, even though we're red, it's not like we're in like a panic mode at all. All right, so ES and SPY. ES holding VWAP, SPY about to drift up to VWAP here. All right, so SPY looking to test its VWAP here by the looks of it. QQQ got a long way to go. Relative weakness in the Qs all morning. Tired today. So SPY not to its VWAP yet. How long we got left? 4.5 minutes. I'm going to say goodbye to the day. Tomorrow, we'll trade tomorrow. I don't know what we'll get tomorrow. Again, rollover week. No news tomorrow, I don't think, from what I remember. FOMC Wednesday, so who knows? Tomorrow might be more consolidation. Wednesday, probably fireworks. Thursday, rollover with news. What do you mean, how about the S&P 500? We keep talking about ES. I'm not sure what you... What's the question there? What do you mean, how about? What's your actual question? If I'm referring to SPY and ES, that's the S&P 500, isn't it? Gosh. Take care, Slim. Have a good day. Have a good day, everyone. Everyone who starts to leave, have a good day. Bit of liquidity on the book here. So some buyers here, 680, 675, 670. That spoof seller up there at 710. All right, spoof seller selling 710. Don't expect him to get filled. He'll lift it like he has done for the last... I think this is like week 3 of him doing it now, right? Week 3. NQ getting stuck at that 5-minute imbalance and at VWAP. SPY not through its VWAP. All right, didn't even tap it yet. So still holding down, still selling in front of that VWAP for now. Still in that downtrend, right? Nothing's changed yet. Still in a downtrend. Still producing lower highs. Still not produced a higher low. Lower highs and lower lows so far. Unless they're going to pivot this little M1 and start producing a higher low. No worries, BU. 2 minutes left. The SPY selling in front of its VWAP, coming back down to its previous day high now on the S&P. Do they scoop it up here for an attempt to pivot into lunch, or is it just sell everything, go to lunch, have a beer? What are the MMs going to do? Tight consolidation here, isn't it? These are big levels, these levels. All right, 45 seconds left. You're going to get that new hourly bar coming. Peace out, Trentry. No worries, no worries. You're welcome. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, team. Those in Discord, I'll check in later. I'm not expecting much, I'm going to be honest. After action like this, I'm really not expecting much. And like I said, I don't want to trade inside previous week's range. Really don't want to trade inside of that. I will trade inside of that if the hourly becomes clear that we're going to make like a head and shoulders on the hourly and start to fade to the lower side of that range. But until that point, I'm not really like keen on trading inside that range. But we'll have a chat in Discord later just in case. I'm going to set price alerts and we'll go from there. Maybe price alerts for around 800 and that Asia London low as well. You're welcome, Christy. Indicate have a great day. Thanks for the W. Hard stops, people. Yeah, exactly. Hard stops save lives. All right. No worries, Brad. I'll catch you later for sure. And we'll be back tomorrow, folks. Same thing tomorrow. All right. Pre-market tomorrow. We'll go over everything. Let's see what we get. Until then, peace and love. Use hard stops. All right. I know there's no news scheduled, but like we always say, you never know what's going to happen in this market. Be careful. Protect your profits. Remember, we said at the beginning of the stream, defense mode this week. We're in defense mode. Catch you later.